We've got the all-new Santa Fe Hybrid in Pebble Blue.
Is this the one to get or the turbo?
Quiet. Good power, good acceleration.
So this is the hybrid, and just like the straight gasoline version, it's also turbocharged, which isn't quite common in the hybrid world. What's under the hood of this one?
A 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with a 6-speed automatic transmission. A combined 231 horsepower and 271 pound-feet of torque. In Canada, standard all-wheel drive, but in the U.S., you've got front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive options available. You can put regular fuel in this hybrid.
Well, there are some interesting product planning decisions in Canada, and we're going to tackle that halfway through in a segment called Questions, Coffee, and Cars. But right now, we're going to get into what do you get with this? What are the key standard features?
The base trim comes with a 12.3-inch touchscreen, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a 4.2-inch digital driver display, a 6.6-inch HVAC control screen, wireless charger, 7-passenger seating, cloth heated front seats, manual front seats, a heated steering wheel, hands-free smart liftgate, and Smart Sense safety features. In the U.S., you get a few more features. The base trim comes with leatherette upholstery, a powered driver's seat with lumbar support. The heated steering wheel is not standard in the U.S., but available.
Well, we're going to touch on this transmission shifter in just a moment. But right now, Andrea, what are we going to put it in?
Got to put it in S for subscribe. And if you can hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when all of our reviews drop, and then you can watch them.
And we do this, the couple car review twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
We put another one out on Saturday.
So make sure to follow along on Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea to see what's going on behind the scenes and to get a question in. More on that halfway through the video. For me, it's Motormouth_Auto, and the links are below the like button. So just last week, we had the regular turbo gas version of this Santa Fe. Yeah. We liked it, but I think, Andrea, I like this one better.
I like this hybrid too. First off, for the fuel economy it offers. I liked the power. It's quieter.
This uses a regular torque converter automatic transmission. It's 6 speeds instead of the 8-speed wet dual clutch in the regular gas model. This has much better results. And then the one we had was called the XRT, and that's more of the rugged off-roady looking one. And really the only difference is the ride height is 1.3 inches higher, and you get smaller wheels and all-terrain tires. I do notice that you feel more road imperfections with this larger tire and wheel package, and also there's less travel in the suspension, but it's still very compliant.
Yeah, this has got 20-inch wheels, and you definitely hear the road more than with the 18-inch wheels and all-terrain tires on the XRT model. I find when we were doing our car-to-car segment that when I have the vehicle, like this is good, but when I slow down and bring the vehicle down, then full throttle, I feel like it takes a while for it to get going. That's just me.
You got it in, try it in Sport.
I have it in regular. Sport is better. I'm also hearing a little bit of wind noise from this side, but other than that, it's fairly quiet. You definitely feel these bumps in the road. We're on very uneven pavement right now.
Yeah, this is the bumpiest part of this road, and I would call this really quite tolerable. I think for this class of vehicle, it's very good.
Now we've gone to the quieter side. You can really kind of hear the difference for sure. Surprisingly, the steering is a little bit heavier. It's the feel that I like.
I think it's the bigger wheel.
Yeah,
I think you're going to have if you go from an 18 to 20-inch wheel, if you have more tire on the road, you're going to definitely feel it. Okay, now go to the smooth part over here again.
Yes.
We have to zigzag to stay on this. Okay, wait. Now it's
a lot quieter. So if you do deal with rougher roads, keep that in mind when buying this. I do find that the Tucson Hybrid is quieter than this.
Well, Andrea, I went to the paint store in this, and in the laneway, there was a Ford Flex sitting there. So I went and I parked it next to it. The poor guy has no idea I'm going to share this on the interwebs, but I took a picture, and there is a spooky resemblance at the front to the Ford Flex.
I always thought that this model, when it came out, it reminded me a lot of the Ford Flex. Of course, there's a Land Rover vibe to it as well, but definitely Ford Flex. If you lifted that Ford Flex up a little bit, you would definitely see even more similarities. I kind of feel bad for Hyundai because everyone is attacking this Santa Fe and what it looks like in compared to other brands.
Well, that's their choice. I mean, they made it look like this. If you park it next to a Ford Flex, even the placement of the headlamps is the same proportion.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jim Farley over at the Ford Motor Company is going, hey, wait a second, we've got the platform. They could bring it back, and it would probably sell well if it was a little more rugged looking.
I do like the design of this, only because I'm not a huge fan of all of the angles that Hyundai has been using on some of their current models. So I really like this boxy look. I know it's not for everybody, but I think it suits the new Santa Fe.
This looks way better, in my opinion, in this color combo compared to the one we had last week with all the black accents and the dark wheels. With the brighter wheels and the contrasting paint and trim, it really pops more. In my opinion, I think it just looks a lot better.
This gets 7 inches of ground clearance and comes standard with LED headlamps, LED tail lamps. You get roof rails, 18-inch wheels, available 20-inch, and a tire repair kit. There are available power folding mirrors.
So we're going to talk about the interior now in just a second. It's Questions, Coffee, and Cars, and we bring up the available trims and how Canada is very limited when it comes to the hybrid options. But we just had the gas model last week. Other than the fact that on the screen it says hybrid, I wouldn't know the difference.
No, and it's really well laid out. There's tons of storage in here. You know, you can open this up in the front. You can open up for the kiddies in the back or your other passengers. Even the door pockets are nice and wide. I really like the materials that are used in here. What about the floating center console? You can put your bag under there, snacks for road trips. It's got it all.
So the difference between the one we had last week, which is kind of the base model in Canada, but mid-trim in the United States, and this one, is this has the dual pane sunroof, which I kind of like because you can keep this closed for me, which is the way I like it, but still have some extra sun in the back to make it feel a little bit brighter. So this is a package on top of the base hybrid in Canada, right?
Yeah, that's right. You've got to get the trend package for $4,000, and it includes things like a digital driver display. You get the sunroof, leatherette upholstery, a power driver's seat, a wireless charger, and power folding second row seats. It also includes the 20-inch wheels.
And you have to stick around. Later in the video, we have vital stats where we go through the price of this. And I think this is the one to get because it's really well priced, killer price. This is all the spec I would need, and there's really good value here.
Yeah, I agree with you. Tons of value. There are things that are missing on this model in Canada. You're able to get all these in the US because you just have more trims. Well, you're missing a power passenger seat with the height adjustment. I do feel like I'm sitting quite low to the ground. You're also missing ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, the surround view and blind view monitors, driver seat memory, the Bose sound system, dual wireless chargers here, and of course that UV sanitizer
glove box
that's that
gimmicky.
You can get.
That's gimmicky, if you ask me. How often are you ever going to use that?
So if you're,
I'm only missing the rear heated seats. Ventilated seats I could do without because I'm in Canada. It's not that hot that often. Well, it gets hot in the summer, but and then the power seat, just as long as it's power operated, I'm good with that. This is Zach's spec. This tickles my. I get enough nice stuff, but I'm also Scottish, so I like it. I like a good deal. This is a good deal. I'd get this one.
Now, in the US, you get great deals as well. It's just that you have that top trim available and you get all of those extra features as well.
This thing is surprisingly big. Getting in the back seat, you get plenty of leg room, very good headroom. The seats slide fore and aft. How does it stack up?
Comparing the Santa Fe Hybrid to the Toyota Highlander Hybrid, the Santa Fe has 44.4 inches of front row legroom, which is over 2 inches more than the Highlander. Second row legroom at 41.5 inches is almost 3 inches more than the Toyota.
And here's me getting in the third row. Because this has such a boxy shape, you got excellent headroom, really quite good legroom, and there's even HVAC controls for the third row, plus a USB-C charger.
Third row legroom at 30 inches is 2 inches bigger than the Highlander.
Open up the power liftgate and you get some space behind the third row. It's not that big. It's when you fold it down you get a lot more space.
Santa Fe cargo space behind the third row is 14.6 cubic feet. Behind the second row, 40.5 cubic feet. And overall cargo space is 79.6 cubic feet. All areas are smaller than the Highlander.
So we talked about it already. Some interesting planning choices on this one. You'll get it in a second.
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
Do you think Hyundai missed out big time by not offering hybrid in upper trims? I bet the hybrid could have been a big seller if offered in higher trims.
Well, we don't get it.
We don't get it. Now, in the US, you do have a calligraphy trim for the hybrid, so that's no problem there. In Canada, there's just the base model, and you can add a trend package for $4,000.
Which is this one.
To get some extra features.
This is all I need, Andrea. This one.
However, there is the NHL limited edition model. There will be 500 units made. You can plaster your favorite NHL logo in the car, but so I just want to say that is equal to the calligraphy trim. It comes in a white exterior only. You get this pecan brown interior, but that's it. And only 500 units. So yeah, I think it's a mess.
That's the Hoser edition. You know what? I kind of find it interesting, Andrea, that the car is only available in white.
For the NHL?
Yeah, for the NHL edition.
Yeah.
And it's only sold in Canada, and there's only 500 units sold.
Yeah.
So what are the two primary colors of the Toronto Maple Leafs? Blue and white. Go figure.
Go figure.
It's not red. It's not green and blue like Vancouver.
True. Now, I did reach out to Hyundai Canada about this, and they said that we're a fast-moving company, and if we need to pivot based on consumer needs and wants, they are open to that. So it doesn't mean that one won't be coming. It just means it's not available now.
So a big sponsorship deal with the NHL. If you don't follow hockey, they are the primary automobile sponsor. Loads of advertising on the hockey playoffs.
Yeah.
And they want to sort of see some return on that. So they've done this collaboration. I'm not sure if it's just 1 year and done, but we'll have to wait and see.
And by the way, if you buy that NHL limited edition, you get a signed Connor Bedard jersey of the Chicago Blackhawks. Our son loves him. In which areas is this different from the Sorrento, which is more luxurious and comfortable?
Well, I know which one looks more conventional. The Sorrento has more of a conventional design on the outside and kind of a similar layout on the inside with the big, big panel and two elements behind it. This is slightly bigger though, right?
Yeah, it is slightly bigger. Believe it or not, third row legroom between the two is only about ½ an inch difference, where the Santa Fe is bigger. But cargo space and cargo space behind the third row is almost the same. This gets more front and rear legroom. Also, the Sorrento Hybrid is a 6-passenger vehicle. This has a bench seat. Now that top calligraphy trim in the US is also just a 6-passenger vehicle. I find these seats more comfortable.
Yeah.
I do, more so than the Sorrento.
I like the Sorrento a lot.
Me too.
We came away, we're impressed with it. I would be happy with either one of them.
I hate how we always have the option of black, black, and black for the interiors in Canada. You're not wrong on this model. Way more interior color options in the U.S.
You know what you do, Andrea? You get the NHL one, and then you get your NHL Toronto Maple Leafs blue seats.
No, you only get pecan brown in that one.
Custom-made blue seat covers.
Sorry.
And you can really leaf it up.
No, you only get a brown interior. But you're right. All we get is black.
Well,
in the U.S., you have way more options.
Yeah, so that light color, I'm showing you the footage that they provided us of the light color interior. It's pretty swish. I wouldn't want to keep it clean, but it looks good.
It looks good. And also this pebble blue exterior that we have in Canada, it is not available in the U.S.
I love this. I think it looks amazing.
Really pretty.
And now it's time for our hot topic. What's this one, Andrea?
Always good to see your reviews. How does this stack up against the Palisade?
Well, I think, Andrea, initially this is going to steal some sales away from Palisade because of the boxy shape and actually really quite roomy interior. We went through it all a little earlier, and less expensive and available as a hybrid. It's going to do very well until they redo the Palisade, which is supposed to come, what, next year, right?
Yes, that's the rumor. It should be coming as a 2026 model, a full redesign, and Hyundai says it's going to look very different than the current Palisade. I think if you want more space, you want captain's chairs, especially in Canada, I think that you're going to go for the Palisade. It is bigger, it's wider. I think this is a good tweener. If you need extra, Palisade is the way to go.
Or if you want a hybrid and you want bigger, you're going to go right to Grand Highlander, which is one of the biggest in the class. Andrew, we forgot to talk about the shifter.
Yeah.
I have noticed that you have to be very deliberate putting it into drive or reverse. Sometimes it doesn't go into gear and you roll, or it stays in neutral. It's caught me a few times.
Yeah, and that's the key, is that you really have to turn it into drive, and same with reverse. I've been putting it in neutral quite a bit. And also when I stopped the vehicle, parked it, I put it in park, but it felt like there was a jerkiness, and then I put my foot on the brake right away. I was like, oh my God, did I miss park? I didn't. I did have it in park, so I was fine.
Okay, let's get into the fuel economy, which is impressive, and more in our vital stats.
Let's start with pricing. We'll do Canada first and then move on to the US. The Canadian pricing includes freight, PDI, and fees. The base model starts at just over $43,500. Add the trend package and it brings you to just under $48,000. In the US, the first SEL all-wheel drive model starts at just over $38,500, and the top calligraphy all-wheel drive is just under $49,000.
Here's the fuel economy for this hybrid: 6.8 liters per 100 kilometers city, 6.9 on the highway. That's an impressive 35 miles per gallon city, 34 miles per gallon highway. This Santa Fe can tow 2,000 pounds with trailer brakes. Hyundai offers a 5-year, 100,000 kilometer or 60,000 mile warranty. In the US, complimentary maintenance is covered for 3 years or 36,000 miles. So not a lot of competitors with this one, Andrea, based on size. So we've gone with a couple of hybrids, couple of plug-ins. Have a look.
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Up first is the Toyota Highlander Hybrid with a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder. It has a combined 243 horsepower and a starting price just under $53,000.
The Kia Sorento Hybrid with the same powertrain as this Santa Fe and a starting price of just over 41 grand.
The Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid with a 2.4-liter 4-cylinder and a combined 248 horsepower, 61 kilometers, 38 miles of range. It has a starting price of just over $48,000.
The Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid with a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, 323 horsepower, 42 kilometers, 26 miles of range, and a starting price just under $55,000.
So there are 4 3-row electrified SUVs for you to consider.
Lightning round: 2 things we like, 2 things we like to see improved.
Well, I gotta pick 2. I like the price and I like the fuel economy.
I do like the way it looks.
What I'd like to see Hyundai do is add a top trim to this hybrid model for Canada.
And if you have height adjustment for the passenger seat, this is perfect. Zach spec. All right, there you go. That's the Santa Fe Hybrid. What do you think of that?
Thanks for watching, and if you like what you see, subscribe. We'll see you next time.